Did anybody say ACP? Woo, we're ready. So Keisha's gonna start you off with ACPs.
We're gonna make a switch over to ACPs, so we're going to go to the other side of diagrams. Now, for the handouts, we only had 2 for ACPs. We have a coordinator manual, and we also have a test manual. And as it was mentioned for your teachers, we are going to ship you a test administrator manual for all of them. And then this one with the stars on it. I believe we punched holes in it. This is yours. It's all. Both of these are already posted. Okay. So please make notes, and remember on your handout, you've got some lines on the back if you're a scribbler. So make sure if you run out of room that you can use that to take notes and also write your name. Okay, so we got a few points. We're going to go over some timelines. We got some special reminders, specific tests to ACPs. For the new people, we'll talk how they are built out. They're locked in with ELCs. We're going to go over the testing materials. I'll remind you about your accommodations. We should hopefully be straight about that. And we'll tell you how to wrap up ACPs when the post-testing for that is done. It's going to be different. And then just some general closeouts to make sure that we have given you a bunch of stuff and we have it all segmented so that you're good. Okay, so you are here right now for your meeting. So that's good. So we got one thing to check on. Okay, we always get asked this, and with Dallas being so big, we have to have a cut point with processing. We can do nothing in this district overnight. So for those of you who asked, this is when we did our pre-codes. It was October 24th. Okay, so you're going to have all of your materials for the break. And circle this date. You need to have for ACPs your campus trained on all aspects of this test by the 11th. Okay, so after we come back from Thanksgiving break, it's going to start fast forward from there till the end of the school year. Okay, so December 11th, we want everybody trained. All right. Okay, so with the testing dates, it's going to run officially December the 16th through the 19th. Now, we are aware that we did have one discrepancy from school leadership. So originally they said everything would be early release. Then they did another wait on October 25th date that the first testing date is going to be a full day dismissal and everything else will be a half day. Okay. As far as your release times, if that does not work for you, again, we just have your principals to contact your executive directors and make some alternate arrangements with the bus schedules. But just for across the board, school leadership will always send something out for everybody to go by. Okay. And one last thing, on your testing days, you need to do just 2 tests per day with people. So these are 90-minute tests. 2 tests per day. So we're not going to do an Ironman thing with 3 or 4 tests.
Are we going to have an extended time on that full day? It says 4:00 p.m.
Normally we give you till 6 p.m. But again, we do. We have it 6 p.m. before, so we'll go with that by here, because what we don't want y'all to do that we've been seeing is a lot of y'all in the past, some of you, I'll say that, have been waiting till school was out to start getting your stuff together, and you still weren't making it by 6.
Sometimes I don't get the stuff till school is out.
Okay, well, we'll have to talk to you offline. But again, you only have 2 tests for 90 minutes, so we're expecting you to work with your staff and your principals to give the support you need, because it's a big deal that's going on, because we have everything colliding with with EOC this time, so we are being a little bit strict with these cut points. So we are looking for everybody by 4, and if we do a change up, we'll just keep reading your weekly reports, and we'll certainly do what we can to help you out. But yeah, normally we give y'all till 6. All right, so on those days that you test, every day that you test, you have to scan. So there's no, I'm gonna test my students and then go home and watch TV and then bring these the next day. So keeping completed answer sheets overnight is a test of regularity. Every day that you test, you have to bring them to the service center. So for the new test coordinators, you are not going to bring answer sheets at all here. Everything is going to be processed at the service center. If you have an assistant helping you, this is the address, 2525 South 30th Street. And It's just east of downtown. And again, as it was mentioned, we do have an online thing where we are making you acknowledge on every day that you are testing. You are going to still fill out a blank that you are testing that day, and we're looking for you on that day to bring your answer sheets. Okay, so after everything is done, the student's last day is on the 19th. The teacher's last work day is going to be the 20th. That is when your results are going to come out. We're going to post to my data portal and to the lead test coordinators. We are going to send you an email, 2 email documents. One is going to be a giant PDF that's going to be a score report of all your class rosters by teacher and subject. You'll pass that out, and that's what your teachers are going to need to put in the scores. Okay. If we have a standing problem, you're going to get a second attachment that we need you to also open up, and that'll let you know if anything did not scan correctly in the class. And we'll work with you to make sure that is recovered or whatever corrections we need to do to get those scores put in. Okay. Now, as far as your processing with ACPs, new people, we do not want any non-scorables at all in December. When we have 2 tests that collide, there's just going to be no room to collect your materials. So, at the bottom, I'll just skip here, I'll skip down here. We need you, after you come back from winter break, to send your truck pickup requests on the 17th. Okay, we do not want any tests. We don't want any mixed shipments, rather, for ACPs, all right? This is gonna be a schedule for the drivers, and it's a pretty big deal with how they have to do that, okay? And we wanna work with them in their system so you don't have books waiting too long on your campus. Do you have any questions?
Yes, ma'am. I know y'all said we have 2 a day, but we have 10 class periods with 9 classes. We have a schedule already, a calendar already created, but we will take each exam, but like on that first day, it's 3 exams since it's a full regular day. Is that acceptable because we have the 10 class periods?
I'm gonna say no and take that offline. You can stay afterwards, and again, with those of you that have the 10 class periods, if you do need an extra day to begin testing, we always work with you, but just for across the board, it's a bigger thing as far as scanning and processing, so we're not gonna say yes to that across the board. You'll have to get approval from Aaron and Karen for that.
Before that is gone.
Okay, I understand, but as far as my part of it, it's going to be a no. You have to get special permission for that. Okay, now for makeups, please, for your kids who missed the bus, do your best to try to do your makeups if you can. And I know it's rough on those early release days, but the official makeup period for ACPs is when you come back, and that's when the students return on January 7th through the 21st. So that is the other reason why you need to keep your materials. So your clean test booklets, your answer sheets, we don't scan blank answer sheets. Keep those answer sheets for whoever's absent, and that's what you're gonna give them to do the makeups when you come back in January, okay? So you have 10 full class days. You have 10 instructional days to get your makeups done as best as possible. So if you can knock that out, you have to scan them at the warehouse, okay? And these are not going to be uploaded electronically, so if you're close enough, that's okay if you want to come daily. But if you do want to bring all of your makeups in January at one time, only that is okay. So is everybody straight with that in January? Okay, because you're going to be doing this kind of in piecemeal, and hopefully you can get those kids pulled to do their tests. All right, so you should hopefully have some of these sites bookmarked. If you don't, or if we have the box pickup, all of these sites to our apps where you're going to be logging in and making certain transactions, please get these bookmarked. And we use Chrome. All of our stuff behaves better than Chrome. Make some folders, make some bookmarks, and that's going to save you a lot of time from looking for pieces of paper to keep typing this stuff in over and over and over. Okay. All right, so about the ACPs, this will be reminders for the veterans and just some pointers for the new folks. ACPs are secure tests. Your teachers, and this is 6 through 12, secondary teachers cannot administer tests within their content areas. Okay, so however you have them scheduled, odds or not, math cannot test any other version of math, and so on and so forth. Cell phones, nobody can have cell phones. And on our website under test coordinator resources, we have quite a few different things posted. We do have something about cell phones to help you out on there, and that includes staff. So your folks who are going to be assigned as test administrators and your hall monitors, they should not be tap, tap, tap on these phones. Okay, so you'll have a schedule set up for breaks. You'll have also people posted for relievers, okay? But your principal will be doing walkthroughs, you're gonna be doing walkthroughs, and if they're on their phone, they can't prove what they did do or didn't do, so we don't need phones out. They have to come out and make a call, sick babies in daycare or whatever, and then set up something to relieve those individuals. Okay, these next two things that's important, please, as you're checking out your tests and whoever you have helping you as an assistant, make sure those individuals are trained. We are posting video recordings of our meetings, and we're going to have them on our website, so for your assistants who can't come with you, make them watch these rebroadcasts of the meeting videos, okay, to kind of support some of your conversations, because we don't want anything blamed on the help. But if your kids accidentally get the wrong test, and in secondary it's always going to be usually an issue of a pre-AP versus a regular ed test. If they have gone through everything, filled out the answer sheets, and you discover it at the end, you're going to have to give us a call, and then we'll give you guidance for how that's going to be handled. Okay. If you get the wrong test and it's discovered while you're reading the script, we do in the test administrator script have a bit of a flow chart that kind of helps the kids in the book when they're opening their books, and it tries to tell them, are you in this class? Are you in English 1? Are you in this? Or are you in that? So if it's discovered before they start their question 1, and we can get them the right book, that's okay. They run the whole gauntlet. Do not give them another test and run another 90 minutes. Give us a call. If they have, for some reason, failed, if these are your kids, if they don't bubble their answer responses on the answer sheet for some reason, and we discovered that at the end, give them their answer sheet back. So if it's within the testing period in that 90-minute window, we're depending on active test monitoring to class, bubble on your answer sheet. So they're going to have their own little system to keep track, especially if they have to come back. But after they're gone, we cannot bring that kid back and pass them out a book after school's out, for example, to have them finish. If that's the case, it did turn out last year, a lot of them did mark it in the book, and we have that. If you give us a call, then we will make sure to back you up the documentation to get that transcribed, to bubble their answer sheet, and then we can at least go forward, and they're just not getting nailed with the zero. So the state loosened up on that, and we did too. All right, answer sheets are not going to be scanned for kids who get caught cheating. So you are going to take up the answer sheet, the booklet, keep that aside. That also includes evidence. So if you get, little paper airplanes that we had in Rena's class, cheat sheets or whatever, they're passing around, including cell phones. If we collect all the evidence that we can, we do not collect answer sheets and scan them for cheaters that are going to get 0. Okay, so for your materials control form, and again, we have all these things posted in your, up on our website, and it's in the back of your book, your manual rather, for example. You need to keep a close documentation of what you are checking in and what you're checking out. So you have zero trust and no honor system when it comes to secure tests, no matter which one it is. All right, so you're gonna have your workstation set up. You're gonna decide a time in your campus testing plan with where and when. You're gonna check your things out. So you're gonna initial how many that you have out, make them sign for it. And then after testing, your test administrators are going to initial back in. You're going to count again, okay? This is gonna be daily, so we're not gonna be, okay, we're gonna check out our materials the day before type thing, and then we'll be ready to go in the morning. So it's beforehand, and then check it in, check it back in. So, all right, so when everything is done, you're going to put all used and unused materials back in your locked storage. And these last 2 points are reminders. We do, this is mostly for the new people, we have kind of a courtesy thing we've done for a number of years. You're going to get, with your answer sheets, some orange surveys, and they are scannable, and these are about the actual test question. It's only going to be for your teachers of record. So, for example, some non-ACP courses are not going to get it, like photography or something like that. But we do depend on you guys to set a time and a place. You will have a meeting sign-in sheet, and usually an hour works. You're gonna check out a clean test and this answer sheet, and the survey, where your teachers can go through it, okay? So it has a lot of questions about the test, and it gives us feedback that goes to test development, and we'd like to get those back as early as possible. So we depend on that when we do our item analyses of the test questions, and that helps us to improve throughout the questions that aren't working. And just some other food for thought, your teachers are also experts. If you can do it, we prefer you to do it after testing has started, so after the kids have gone would be a good time. And if it doesn't work out in December, you can also do it when you come back on that first work day in January, okay? So we have teachers who call and complain, and they say, y'all tell them, oh, I'm just not gonna do it because I'm just not gonna do it, but we do expect for this to be done. Just a reminder, campus instructional coaches can't do it, okay? So CICs are gonna trick you, they're gonna ask you all the time just to see if they can catch you sleeping, but CICs cannot be involved in this process. They cannot look at a booklet used by one of their actual students. And again, we've had some unfortunate cases of test irregularities happen in some of these meetings. So you are going to have a meeting sheet that you'll file with your other training, your training sign-in sheets for this. And one last thing, your teachers cannot come in with any other kind of data packets. I know a lot of the EDs have different kind of team things that they do, so they can't bring anything but just a pencil to fill out the Scantron, no phones, no anything. They're still under oath during this process, so there's no discussions after they leave the survey period. We've had problems with that. Okay, so again, they're still under oath. This is a copy of your manual, so when you get back to your offices, don't let this get covered up. We're not going to flip through this page by page. We're giving you a summary of it, but you still need to go through this on your own before you train your campuses. Okay, so some more reminders. Again, the testing window officially is the 16th through the 19th. We have several classes that do the 10 class periods. You just have to get with Charlenta and make sure you know who you are. And if you do scan that Friday, okay, we do have to have people set aside with machines warmed up and everything ready to receive that. These are your final exams. It's going to count 15% for high school. This is based on course enrollment. So for ACPs, new people, you are not ordering your ACPs. You are not going to give us a list that says, I need 400 this and 300 that. So what we do when we pre-code, and we've already done it, we actually go to the Power School, okay? We look at who's there, and that's what's shipped. When you get your materials, we're going to pad you probably about 10 to 15% extra. So if you're a transient campus or you've got some kids who live with grandma this month and go back to mom the next month type of thing, you should have a little bit of an overage to cover those students. Okay, the testing period is 90 minutes. So as you do your campus plans, if you need help and you're kind of scratching your head, these are going to be your new folks called veterans. And we tried to have some little meet and greets, some of our other meetings for you to kind of meet some folks with similar campuses and your neighborhood rivals or whatever. But give us a call if you're kind of having some trouble, new folks, and we'll help direct you there. But again, you don't want your schedule to be so tight where there is no time. Your teachers are going to have time to get their materials. They got to have time to go back. They got to have time to set up. You got to get dictionaries, calculators. So you again, when the 90 minutes starts for the kids, that does not include the script. That is, after you've read the script, you've been seated, you've taken attendance and everything, and go. So take a look at that, and like we said, with the dismissal period on those half days, if that's not working for you, if you need an extra 20 minutes, you need a bus to come, an extra 30 minutes later, think about that now and start making those arrangements. Review sessions cannot be conducted on testing days. So on that first day, which is a full period, you're going to have to come up with some other activities. So the teachers of other courses that are not being tested that day, they can't do any backup reviews to try to help them and coach them along. That's not going to be kosher, so just don't do that. Okay, and as we said, we're expecting 2 tests to be done per day. And again, we always work with you. You've got the 10 class periods or more. Okay, so as far as how the tests are designed, not a big change here. They're going to be multiple choice, and on some of your science and almost all of your math, high school and middle school math, you are going to have some pre-response, and that means that the kids have to complete the problem and actually bubble in the number. So mostly all of them are going to have probably 1 or 2, sometimes 3 of those. So we definitely want to make sure they are not missing those questions. That can be a difference between an A and a B. Okay, these tests are consumable, so you'll get more than enough for each student. If you're still short, we do have an online ordering system that will have where you can order extras. And also, we do not automatically ship large print. So when we open up the ordering system, if you need large print, we do those on demand. That particular size paper is expensive, and we just cannot afford to just print a certain number and then see who's going to ask for them. Okay, and we did that to try to be helpful and threw away more than what was actually requested. We do not have ACPs online, so in the future that will be a possibility one day. But because we had some practice with common assessments that worked out to be online, ACPs are still going to be printed for the fall and also the spring. So they're going to be paper and pencil. And I already said this about your surveys for your teachers. Okay. All right, so ACPs just have a general script. It is going to be a little bit different than what your teachers are going to guide them through as far as the EOC, but it's a general script where it's designed for them to work independently. Do a test run and read it, usually with the wait, ask and answer response from the students. It usually takes around probably about 6, usually maybe no more than 8 minutes, but you can just kind of practice with that where your teachers are comfortable and your students are not being rushed. So these are also posted. This is also printed in the administrator manuals for yours and also the test administrator manuals that will get shipped. Okay. We need this read verbatim. And a lot of the time when we get some kind of oddities, we can usually suspect where that person just kind of skipped over this. If students need oral administration, that'll be covered under their accommodations, okay, that accommodations do count for ACPs as well. ACPs need to be done in one pop, so there's no, you're gonna go to lunch and then come back type of deal. It's a very short test, and usually on the half days, you kind of do a sack lunch, but you'll need to get with your cafeteria supervisor to see how you're going to arrange that. Okay, so we've already gone through our designated supports. That deadline has passed, so we should be clear on who is in what. So those test administrators who are going to administer accommodations, they definitely need to be on point. And again, with your oral administration extra training that you're going to do for EOC, that will be permissible to cover for ACP as well. Okay, and our last things, these last 7 things. Okay, we've had some issues with Power School, and a lot of the programming that we had hoped for on our wish list didn't necessarily happen. So again, it is going to work out that it is not going to be electronically uploaded. So when we scan the test scores, they are not going to be populated into Power School. Okay, so on the 20th, okay, that's not going to be an all-day party day. The 20th, before everybody is dismissed to go and start enjoying Christmas, that is going to be a work day. The biggest thing we need teachers to do is, number one, make sure all their students got the test score. Okay, if somebody did not get a test score, but they were there, we want to start homing in on these mysteries and solving these things now. Okay. All right, so they're going to enter the test scores by hand, and we're going to send you what those test scores are. They are going to be posted on my data portal. We are going to send you class rosters that you can print out and hand out to your teachers. That will be faster. Okay. This is only going to go to the lead test coordinators. We typically don't copy principals. Okay. And lastly, we do have a correction form. So if something is wrong, you know a kid tested, definitely check attendance first, and then we'll just go through a normal little run that we do to try to find the scores. But the biggest thing is with the answer sheets, if you're counting out and back in your works, test booklets, and answer sheets, we never really have missing answer sheets. So we do want you to make sure your administrators, test administrators know to flip through the test booklets. And if you have 24 answer sheets out, you've got to get 24 back in. If somebody was absent, that should hopefully be easily resolved as far as who's missing. So again, with your attendance, please keep careful track of that. So when you come back from break, you can be rested and okay, we've already gotten 3 of these in. This is for high school. So if you have lower grades under 9th grade, this is only for high school. And this was something school leadership came up with mostly to help with graduation. This is a teacher vacancy form, and for ACP core subjects where for whatever reason you were not able to get a full-time certified teacher in that subject, and you can fill out this vacancy form. All right. What will happen is it will be audited by HCM, and it will be signed off by school leadership. We'll make sure that we don't want non-ACP classes. We get a lot of stuff like human geography and certain P-Tech kind of classes like hotel management and stuff like that. This is only going to be your core ACP classes. In your test administrator manual in the back, we do have a bit of a glossary. It's called a list of ACPs. Those are the only classes that are supposed to fill on this form. So we take the first leg of it, goes to HCM, and the school leadership signs off on it, and it'll come back for them. The last thing is, what will happen is your kids still have to test. So when you had subs or just whoever was in there doing the best they can with these subjects, they still have to take the ACP. There's no getting out of it, there's no teacher-made test, there's no exemption. So what will happen is when you come back, and you'll have to decide who will be the best team to deal with it. Those effective students will get the better of their ACP test score, and some of them do surprisingly well, or they'll get the better of an average of their 3-6 weeks because it wasn't their fault that, we just couldn't find a qualified staff member to teach that class. So you can start sending these in now. Just make sure, please, to have your principal sign it before you scan it back to us, because we are going to send it back. And again, you should get these before winter break. Okay, they're expecting you to get these before the week before you go. Actually, the testing week. So we've worked out something with HCM to kind of do this in one shot. So there is a job fair, I understand, that's going on, but go ahead and send it in now. Okay, because they can still compete the effective time. So that's not bad. All right, so do we have questions so far?
Sorry, y'all. Thanks for questions, everybody else. So when we do the makeup and we have the blank headers with the teachers, is it possible where you all could print a whole set of teacher headers for us? Because there's a lot of books. That's like 200 books. Just asking. You know what she's saying? You don't know what I mean?
Yeah, because we actually did that before in the past, and I don't think so. The question is, can we print an extra set of pre-coded headers for everything?
For teachers?
For teachers, just for makeups? And that will, I'll have to forward that on. I'm gonna prepare you for a no. I'm gonna prepare you for a no, because we did that before and it did not work well, and I just cannot commit material-wise and scheduling-wise to the warehouse's schedule, because they're doing more than just ACPs, but we'll forward that on. All right, let's talk about the materials that you're going to get.
Each of your teachers will have a class header. Remember, class headers are needed to scan. And so when you have those small group sections, it's recommended so that, like Yolanda was asking, you don't have to do another header, that your small groups are placed back in with their teacher of record. Remember that the header dictates what will be scored, so it's very important that you train your teachers to use the appropriate header, especially if they have two headers in a section. You want to make sure that they're using the correct headers, and so we're going to look at that. So this is what the teacher headers look like, and in this box, this dictates what the class section is, and your students that you're placing behind this header, those answer sheets should match. That information should match the class section, the class period and the course number. Any questions about your pre-code? And these are your pre-coded headers. And so I know we just talked about it. I did the same thing Charlene did in my training. I had my teachers bubble an extra 1 or 2 extra headers just because I knew, especially for the fall, that we would have multiple makeups to do, and that saved me some time. And so this is what those blank headers look like. If you have to do a blank teacher header, then you're going to be using, you'll get a lot of them. Normally they're not listed a lot, but you'll get a lot of blank headers. And so this is what they look like. You want to make sure that the teacher has completely fills in, writes and bubbles their name. And then if they have an employee ID that is only 5 digits, you do need the leading 0. And then they're going to put the test code and all of this information. You can't really see it. You'll have a better image in your actual manual, but it has the number, the test code, year, form, course number, etc. And if it's a blank header, you always want to also write the information for the class. All right, let's talk about your answer sheets. High school answer sheets, well, middle school is maroon and high school is blue. And so pass out the correct answer sheets to the correct student's course based on the course number. Remember, students cannot use pen, so make sure to train your teachers, and your teachers shouldn't use pen either. Every year, someone's hand bubbles using a pen, but it doesn't, the scanner will not read it. So you can only use number 2 pencils. And then you want to check that students bubble the answers on their answer sheet. Remember, as we said, even with ACP, just as well as you do with EOC, the first quality control starts with who? You quality control your teachers as they're turning in their material. And so that's when you can catch those errors to make sure that everyone has the test code, year, and form, and all of the necessary information on it. Student oaths are printed on the answer sheet. However, students may still test even if they don't sign the oath. And so this is what your student answer sheets will look like. This is a pre-coded student answer sheet. So each of the students that are in each course and each class section should have a pre-coded answer sheet. However, based on the upload date for ACPs, and that was, anyone remember it? It should be on in your planner. What was it? November 4th? October 24th. They may not have a pre-coded answer sheet, and so you would have to have a hand bubble, a blank hand bubble. And so here's your test code, year, and form that the students will have to fill out even on their pre-coded. Remember, train your test administrators that if they are reading the script verbatim, they will catch a lot of the common irregularities, like missing the information that should be completed. And then this is what the blank answer documents look like. You only need the last name, first name, and student ID for the scanning. Those are the only 3 things that are required on your blank student answer documents. And again, on blank or pre-code, your students are always, per your instructions, filling out the test code, year, and form. Any questions about answer sheets? All right. Let's talk about your test booklets. For every subject, the books are going to be a different color per content. That's actually going to help you. Trust me, those of you who are new. All of your books are consumable, and they come packaged in bundles of 25. So you may have a bundle that is going to be bundle 25, and the numbers, because each book has a distinctive number, just like your EOC books, your numbers may be bundle 25, 4301 to 4325. And then your next bundle could be bundle 26, 4326 through 50. So each of the books will have a distinctive number, and that's to help you as you are quality controlling your books. Remember, when you first get your materials, you're going to get a packaging slip. I think if it hasn't changed, it's going, the pages correspond to the color of the content. I don't think that's changed. So that helps you. When you first get your material, you're going to quality control everything that they say they ship you. You're going to make sure that you got it. And if discrepancies occur, then you can email one of the district test coordinators along with Jorge to let him know. Please make sure you do that in the beginning and not the end. All right? That way you're telling us up front, I did not get this. Not after, because then it may be a question of did you get it or did it get lost? This is another common, creates a common irregularity. Your pre-AP and regular courses, they actually look different. Now remember, just a minute ago I said the content is going to be color coded. So even though the content is the cover is the same, your pre-AP booklets have a big border around it. And again, when the test coordinators read, when the test administrators read that script, it has checkpoints to help you ensure that the kids are taking the correct course. I used to, if I had a section and they had first period was regular and second period was pre-AP, I used to put a big post-it note on it that says stop pre-AP. That was just a reminder for the test administrator. And then I got fancy and put a little printed little stop sign on the on the top of the bundle so they would know this is a pre-AP. Do not give this to Gen Ed students, my regular classes. So think of a way that you can help your test, just one extra step. This is the big step, but just one extra step to help them distinguish between the pre-AP course books and the regular course. Some of your courses will have supplemental material as far as you may have an additional administration manual, you may have audio CDs or image cards. If you have any of these subjects that will be tested, they will have that extra material. This is secure material. It needs to be returned with your non-scorables. And if you don't receive them, then contact the service center or district coordinators so that we can get those prior to testing to help you get those. All right, let's talk accommodations. For ACPs, you have accessibility features and your designated supports. However, all of the designated supports that are available for STAR are not available for ACP. And if you look in your manual, it's going to give you, let me go back to it. In your manual, it will tell you, if you look, there's going to be a page that talks about the accessibility features that are common for ACP, and then you will look, and they also talk about the designated supports. I know that content and language supports is not available. Why is that? It's only online. And the other one that I remember is manipulating test materials. That's not available, and there may be one more. For all administration, train your test coordinators. It is a little different for ACP than for STAR. So in your test administrator manual on page 8, you're going to see oral administration, what can and cannot be read. Notice for ACPs, the revising and editing passages cannot be read. It's not separated yet like STAR. So that's a mind shift that you'll need to train. That's why we're talking about separate trainings. So you know, sometimes you hear one thing and they're going to process it for all tests. Make sure that you let them know it's a little different for ACPs. And extra time is a max of 2 hours and 15 minutes because it's time and a half. And so also, if you look at page 9 in your manual, the ACP calculator policy, there you'll see information about which subjects can use calculators, since it's a little different again for ACP than for the state testing that we previously talked about. And that's on page 9. ELs, there's a form, I believe it's going to be form 3 in the secondary manual, if I'm correct. It is the EL testing policy for ACPs. So just as a reminder, and this came from the EO department, the LPAC may exempt new immigrant students who have been enrolled in U.S. schools less than 6 weeks from district ACPs, but must administer a teacher-made assessment. So for the English 1 ESOL course and middle school ESL language arts courses, there are beginner and intermediate district assessments available based on the course number. And for electives, math, science, and social studies, the LPAC may exempt new immigrant students who have been in the country less than 12 months from district ACPs. Campuses must administer a teacher-made assessment to all exempt students. However, look at the bottom, LPAC may exempt qualifying unschooled asylum refugees who have been in the country less than 12 months from district ACPs. Campuses are not required to administer a teacher-made assessment to a qualifying unschooled asylum refugee, and that should be documented. And so the full EL policy is in the back section under forms, and it is in both your test administrator and test coordinator manual. All right, Charlene is going to talk to you about quality control, and we're closing up. Yes.
Because we were talking about student materials. Is there a way for the warehouse to pack like, I have to request a foreign language CD every year because they don't pack one for small groups. They'll pack only what I need for the teacher. Is there a way for them just to pack an extra one because even we have small groups, which we don't have that many, but so we're not constantly having to request that?
I could write that down, but for right now, I know this semester you'll have to request. And the order form for additional ACP materials is up now, so if you need to request large print or CDs, you can do that at this point. Quality control. So the campuses are, the teachers, test administrators, are bringing you the materials, and it is your responsibility to verify that they have verified that all students that are testing have an answer document that has been submitted. What I used to do is I used to have them put in a folder all the completed answer documents, and then I always had a red folder to show that all the students that were absent, they would put the answer documents in there for that. On your quality control sheet, you should probably have a space where you can know the total number of answer documents that should have been submitted, and so they can be each answer document should have been accounted for. Make sure that the teachers have separated the test booklets from the answer sheets. I don't know how many times we get calls about people leaving the answer documents within the books. Please make sure that they've done that prior to coming to you to check in materials. Again, blank answer documents should not be turned in when you come to the service center to bring your completed for scanning. Witness it and have an initial on your quality control sheet that everyone has turned in all of the stuff that was that you gave them in their bucket, and there was no damage to the bubbles. If there are damages to the bubbles, or if they put a hole in the answer document, you're going to have that test administrator transcribe the answer documents to a blank answer document. You cannot erase any stray marks, so make sure that when the students are finished, that they've looked over their answers and address any stray marks that are on the track marks. When you prepare your materials to bring to us, you will need to make sure that the header matches the answer document. So whatever course code is on the header, it needs to reflect what the students have. Because you might have multiple sections within one class, or multiple headers in each one class. Each header, like your ESL students, will probably be under a different course number than your general ed students, and so with your SPED. But they're all in that same period. So each group needs to be under a different header. Make sure that you train the test administrators the process also. Don't just assume that they know. Our expectation is that you go through the manual with the test administrators when you do your trainings. Quality control, I noticed that I saw about 20 schools sign up for quality controls for EOCs, but only 7 sign up for quality control for ACPs. Remember, you have to sign up for both quality control for EOCs and for ACPs. ACPs will be different because it's just a stop and drop. You won't even get out of the car. EOCs, the test coordinator has to come upstairs and sit there and go through torture. But for ACPs, anyone could bring them, not the principal, but anybody else can drop them off and just drive to the court, and someone will be greeting you, welcoming your completed answer documents. When you put all your materials together, place them in a box. So, and then you're just going to give them to us and just drive off. Never send any of the answer sheets via campus mail. And you also will need to turn in the campus surveys. Schedule a time to allow the teachers to view the ACP test and to complete the student survey. Okay, I just talked about the form. Go ahead, before you leave here, you know your ACP schedule, go ahead and complete that link indicating that you acknowledge that you will be bringing answer documents every day during the ACP window. Do I have any questions? No questions? Okay, makeup testing. Makeup testing is January 9th through the 21st. We have an app on our website where you will sign up to have the students who need to complete the makeup testing. If it's past that, the 21st, headers must be created and filled out. Again, we've given you suggestions on how to complete headers. Accommodations must be administered doing makeups as if they were taking the regular test. Only students with excused absences can receive a makeup after January 22nd. And we are recommended that you use the pre-coded answer sheet. So, like I said, stack them all the answer sheets for students who did the test. Put them in a place where you will remember to find them. That way you can pull them in January and administer the test. And the scores will be emailed to the lead testing coordinator. When you return the materials, you're going to request a box pickup, and we'll email you more information of when the box pickup form will be available. And you're going to account for all the boxes that were shipped to you. You should send all of that information back. You will also fill out a delivery ticket. That's Form 10 and 11 in your test coordinator manual. And please do not mix your EOC boxes with your ACP boxes. Please don't do that. And again, Felicia said to make sure as soon as you get the materials to open them up. Y'all are gonna probably be getting them around the same time, so it behooves you to go through everything and go ahead and order the additional materials that you need for ACPs prior to Thanksgiving break, if you receive the materials before Thanksgiving. ELCs, additional orders, we need you to complete that by Tuesday. Okay, I am at the end. I think I just have a few. We have your prizes. I can't remember. I didn't write the names of the people who won. I know Shalane was one of the people who answered one of the newsletter questions correctly. Who else did I say you answered? Does anybody remember? Felicia, you have it up. Where's Shalane?
Shalane, Molina High School won last weekend. Shalane from Obama won as well. Obina, and then the week before, which was Sandra from Spruce. And, yeah.
Okay, so we hope that you use the materials that we've given to you today. You got early Christmas presents from us. The planner, you need to bring that to each meeting. If we could turn to November and look at November to see the tasks that we should be doing right now. So on the side, Felicia wrote down like some really helpful reminders for you guys where it says TC reminders. So we provided the PowerPoint. You need to just adjust it to accommodate the needs for your campus. Read the reminders, take notes. Remember the 22nd is the last day to show the 3 test security videos. The 22nd is also the last day you can sign up for a time slot to submit your answer documents for STAR. On the 22nd, if you have not signed up, we're just going to assign you a time and say this is when we expect you to be there. And the 22nd is the last day to let us know your ACP plan for each. You're submitting your answer documents for each day. But please use the calendar. Anytime we'll have an adjustment, we'll ask you to flip to your planner and take notes. If you look at December, we've already started planning for EOC. Just look at your schedule and then make notes as needed. And for the spring semester, your meeting dates are already in here, so you can look at that. Any questions? All right, well, I have one announcement that I have to read. Lassiter, Obama, Washington, please come and get your alpha sorters. And Shayna, don't forget to sign in. And if you have nothing else, remember, if you need assistance with preparing for ELCs and ACPs, feel free to contact us. We can come out to walk through your testing plan with you to help you with your rosters. Just make sure to use us as a resource and not wait until the 9th hour to say, I don't know what to do. This is the time when this kind of a low period to reach out to us to ask for assistance. We hope you guys have a wonderful day and happy rest of the week.
I noticed a lot of vacancies in the district coordinator section. Are you hiring 3, or we're just going to go without them?
No, we are struggling to get our postings posted.
Okay.
With the new changeover to the Apple Trial place, we put them up one time and then it took it down. So hopefully this.
Okay.
There's plenty of some this so you like to leave, Thank you, Dan.
Well, have a good day.
Okay.